It's no secret that Helium has a gaming problem. Ways to solve this has been discussed in detail, but no concrete plan or HIP has been put in place just yet. There is still debate on whether hardware should help solve it or if the algorithm can be altered to fix this. Regardless, there were some updates via Proof of Coverage V11 that have forced some gamers out of their fake clusters in China, India, and Africa and into the EU. This certainly can begin to impact real miners' transmit scores, as these clusters were previously located in remote parts of several different countries. As it is always good to make it more difficult for these gamers to operate, the reality is they will persist until they can no longer earn HNT. In today's video, we will take a look at the details regarding this gamer migration. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here in the Crypto Compound channel. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're having a great day. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in. In today's video, we are going to be discussing Helium's gaming problem. And yes, it certainly is a problem. It needs to be addressed, and hopefully sooner rather than later, as there are many nefarious Helium clusters around the globe earning HNT and taking HNT away from real miners everywhere. Now on the screen here, obviously we can see that these clusters are not organic at all. As you can see, there's only a few hexes here with 2 miners in them. Of course, these are not how the network grows. This is not organic. These are not real miners in real houses providing coverage and earning HNT. It is entirely fake. Even in these large clusters, you could see there's no more than 2 per hex. This is certainly gaming that is going on. Now, the interesting thing that we are going to talk about in this video is how some of these miners or some of these hotspots now are proven to be dead. There are no HNT rewards being earned on them any longer. However, there are still some that are earning. As you can see here, there are a few that are still earning some considerable amounts, multiple HNT per month. However, a lot of them have died recently. We are going to discuss what is causing this, why this is, and what is going to start happening to these clusters in remote parts of the world. So guys, we're going to jump into here, but first I do want to thank all of the contributors here in the data analysis thread of the official Helium community Discord. These guys are really in the trenches, running very important data sets and are finding extremely important patterns that are helping us understand how these gamers work and how they're being affected. Now, as you can see here, this is the beginning of the important pieces here that really explain how the gamers are being impacted. As you can see, it shows this activity of counts shows that almost all moving activity was around Proof of Coverage V11, clearly a relationship. As you can see, starting December 11th, here is the count of gateways that moved from China to the Netherlands. As you can see, prior to December 11th, there was only 3 on October 18th, randomly. Then all of a sudden, December 11th, December 13th, December 14th, you had 79, 78, 50 hotspots, gateways moving from China into the Netherlands. So this was the beginning of noticing this pattern, this trend. As you can see here, he says normally almost nothing, but happening around Proof of Coverage V11 a lot. Now the conversation does shift from the migration of miners in China outside of China. However, before they get into the real nitty-gritty of the migration, there is some debate on how much these scammers or these fake clusters of miners are really earning. Someone estimates that it's around 1% of the daily rewards if his query is correct. And of course, that doesn't sound like a lot. However, depending on what sort of data you're looking at, that number changes. This person here says, I could quite easily see the actual number to be closer to 10% of total daily rewards. Of course, it is really hard to pinpoint the value. However, there are certainly a lot of this gaming going on as you can see here, the issue is that there are still 41,000 hotspots in China. Of course, the numbers we saw just above were around 70, 75, 40. So that's nothing compared to the amount of hotspots that are still there in dubious locations, as you can see here, as this person says. He goes on to say, this is hard to define though. Although patterns can be seen that look suspicious, it is difficult to prove. The clusters around Europe would look a lot less suspicious if they had been created with a little more care. The fact is that they know they can do it with impunity, and so do not exercise any sort of care. And of course, this is sad but true. These people know that the network is not yet preventing them from doing this. So of course, they are going to do this. They are going to earn HNT and enrich themselves because they do not care about the network. They only care about earning HNT, earning capital, earning money. And while they're allowed to do it, they of course will continue to do it. However, down here is where it gets super interesting. And guys, after we discuss this, which is the real important big piece, we are going to talk about how this could be impacting these two charts here. There are some new trends that are forming in these charts that this may be related to. As you can see, this person begins to say, considering all miners that moved out of China to another country in 2021, until December 8th, only 89 miners have moved out of China. After December 8th, which is just around proof of coverage V11, the big migration happened. 2,102 miners moved out of China, mostly into Western Europe. As you can see here, this is the number of moves before December 8th, and here is the number of moves between December 9th and December 25th. And of course, he does mention how real miners in these areas that these miners are moving to, their transmit scales can seriously be reduced and their miner earnings will be certainly impacted by this. As time goes on, I think reward structure will be changed to add more rewards to hotspots transferring real data packets, and share for providing coverage will be reduced. This is true. He is 100% right. The network is designed that way. However, it is going to take a long time for that to happen. It is a scheduled shift, and it is going to take many, many years. And here is where we really find out what is causing this. Someone says, I don't understand why they are moving their fake clusters to the EU when they could do their tricks in remote parts of China, India, Africa, etc. Now, the answer is right here. Because the hardware they had was EU 868, and after proof of coverage V11 updates, this wouldn't work asserted anywhere else but in Europe. So they had to move these miners from different countries into Europe, because some of the updates from proof of coverage V11 had regional biases, regional implications, so they had to move that hardware into Europe. And he goes on to say, you can make an estimate of what will happen in the coming weeks by looking at the clusters in China and how many are currently dead. These will be moved at some point. As you saw in the beginning of the video, how some of them were no longer earning any HNT. That was a result of proof of coverage V11. However, there were still some that are earning. And down here, he continues to say the clusters may be online, but not earning since proof of coverage V11. If they are in China and are earning, then they are on the correct frequency and won't need to be moved. So some of those hotspots that we saw that were not earning, that had zero over the past 30 days, very, very likely they are the wrong frequency and are currently dead now because of POC V11. And we should expect those to move because whoever is controlling them will want to make them move and have them earn HNT again. Of course, this is not good for the network, and these people will move them to places where they can earn HNT again. As you can see, someone here notices there are about 8,400 miners in China that haven't received rewards after December 15th. So this is a clear impact from proof of coverage V11. That is a huge number of miners that are going to eventually be relocated into somewhere where they can start earning again, because these people will not leave them and have them not earning. Of course, someone is saying get those addresses and save them, so then we can really have an idea of when they move them, where they are, and sort of put them on a deny list once those are set up and running, if that is part of the solution in the future. Now, the interesting thing here is, as we saw 8,400 miners not earning anymore in China after December 15th, if we take a look here at this chart of average rewards per day, we can see that the number of miners being rewarded has actually started to drop almost for the first time, drop consistently almost for the first time in the past 90 days. As you can see, from 322,000 hotspots being rewarded to 311. That's almost a 10,000 hotspot difference between December 20 let's call it December 21st and December 27th. Now keep in mind 10,000 fewer hotspots being rewarded. Meanwhile, on December 21st, we only had about, let's see, 422,000 hotspots on the network, and today we have 440,000. So there are more hotspots being onboarded onto the network. However, fewer are being rewarded. This could be partially impacted by these huge number that are no longer earning in China. And as a result, as you can see, average HNT rewards per hotspot per day has actually been increasing. This, of course, is also due to the amount of HNT being produced. As you can see, the block time must be getting faster. As we discussed in a previous video, the block times were severely behind and are attempting to catch up. They should be creating 83,333 HNT per day. We seem to be catching up in the past few days. However, we're still not there just yet. It's just very interesting to see this increase here in average HNT rewards per day per hotspot while we are onboarding so many new hotspots per day. It might really have a lot to do with this POCV11 implications for gamers across the world. So guys, those are my thoughts. Huge thanks to all the people in the data analysis Discord thread there, pointing all of this out. I tried to articulate it for you guys as best as I could. However, we are going to stay on top of this and continue to report on developments here with regards to combating the gaming going on the Helium network. They are stealing our HNT, they're stealing our earnings, and we want that to be changed. And of course, we know Helium is on top of it. We've seen Amir Halim talking about it across multiple platforms, and in future videos, I'm going to try and break down what he has been saying, because he really has been talking about this over the past 3, 4, 5 days. So stay tuned for that. Guys, we can even see miners here being set up in the middle of the ocean. Of course, these are not real. I don't know if they're really gaming or what they are doing. They seem to be earning no HNT, but there's a lot of funky stuff going on the network. There is huge efforts to try and prove hotspot location identity and prove it so that it is accurate and correct, and people are earning HNT when they actually have hotspots deployed. But guys, there's a lot of work to do here. I'm going to keep on keeping you guys updated, but that is all I have for today's video. Thank you for watching until the end. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Please hit that like and subscribe if you have not already. But just like that, this video is over, and I will see you next time.